If you look closely at the newest streaming boxes hitting US shelves right now, there's a trend that might seem surprising. Something that didn't matter much a few years ago is suddenly becoming a headline feature. Local storage. Device makers are bragging about 32 gigabytes, 64 gigabytes, even 128 gigabytes of internal space. In a category where 8 gigabytes used to be the standard, and nobody questioned it. So why is this happening? Why are US streaming boxes in 2026 adding more local storage when almost everything is streamed from the cloud? What changed in the market? What changed in consumer behavior? And why are companies investing in an upgrade that didn't seem necessary not long ago? To answer that, we need to look at how streaming devices have evolved and how the role they play in American homes is changing. The first major reason for the storage boom is simple. Apps themselves have gotten bigger. Streaming apps, gaming apps, utility apps, interface modules, they're all more complex and more resource-heavy than they used to be. Instead of simple video players, apps now include recommendation engines, offline assets, ads, higher-quality thumbnails, interactive elements, and background processes. An app that used to take up 300 megabytes may now take a gigabyte or more. For years, consumers complained about devices running out of space after installing just a handful of apps. Streaming boxes weren't designed to handle that level of growth because no one expected app sizes to explode so dramatically. But by 2025, manufacturers had no choice. If they wanted a smooth user experience, they had to boost internal storage. And that's exactly what they're doing in 2026. The second reason is gaming. This is one of the biggest shifts in the streaming device category. Streaming boxes aren't just for TV shows anymore. They're becoming mini entertainment hubs. More devices now offer access to large mobile-style games, retro libraries, cloud gaming portals, and even downloadable titles. These games take storage. Even classic games need space for assets, updates, and compatibility files. And with gaming becoming a key selling point for modern streaming hardware, bigger storage is no longer optional. The third major factor is offline content. Many Americans want the ability to download movies, shows, or episodes for offline viewing, especially during travel, power outages, or times when internet speeds fluctuate. Some streaming services now allow users to download content directly onto streaming devices, not just tablets or phones. But downloads require local storage, and the old 8 GB or 16 GB limits simply weren't enough. Companies realized that offering larger storage unlocks offline viewing as a real feature, not just a novelty. Another important reason behind this shift is the rise of 4K and 8K assets. Many apps store preview images, metadata, and interface resources locally for faster performance. Higher resolution assets take more space. That's also true for advanced audio formats and Dolby Vision previews. To keep the interface smooth, responsive, and modern-looking, devices need significantly more storage. The next reason traces back to user expectations. Even though the cloud handles most streaming, Americans want devices that just work. They don't want laggy menus. They don't want error messages about app updates failing due to lack of space. They don't want to delete something just to install something else. A streaming box may look small and simple, but people expect it to be as flexible as their phone or tablet. And that means giving it enough memory to grow with them. We also have to talk about advertising. Many streaming services rely on ad-supported tiers. Some of these ads, especially interactive ones, are locally cached on the device to reduce buffering and meet compliance rules. The more ad-based streaming grows, the more local storage these devices need to quietly manage all that background content. It's not something consumers think about, but it directly affects performance, loading speed, and smooth playback. Another factor, operating systems are getting larger. Google TV, Fire OS, Roku OS, and other platforms have all expanded. They support more features, more animations, more recommendations, voice interfaces, and smarter home integrations. All of that requires space. A modern streaming OS can take up a huge portion of the internal storage, leaving very little room for apps unless manufacturers increase capacity. Adding more storage ensures devices stay usable for several years, not just at launch. Device lifespan is another major reason. Consumers are holding on to streaming boxes longer now. These devices used to get replaced every few years as new features arrived, but today, upgrades are more incremental. A solid streaming box can last 5 to 7 years. Manufacturers want devices that can survive multiple rounds of OS updates and app expansions without breaking down or slowing to a crawl. More storage makes that possible. Competition is also driving the shift. The streaming box market in the US is extremely competitive, maybe more competitive than it's ever been. Streaming services are battling for attention. Device makers are fighting for shelf space. Retailers are pushing models with better specs. When customers shop for a streaming box, higher storage numbers are an easy selling point. It's simple to understand. It feels future-proof. And it makes one device seem better, even if everything else is similar. Another major trend is local media usage making a comeback. More people are storing personal videos, photos, and even downloaded media on their devices. Some want to play home videos. Some use Plex or Jellyfin. Some want local playback without relying on streaming services at all. Higher storage lets streaming boxes double as media hubs, something they couldn't do effectively before. And we can't ignore the role of Wi-Fi issues. Internet performance in the US is inconsistent depending on the region. Not everyone has access to high-speed fiber. Some households experience congestion or throttling. Local storage reduces buffering, improves responsiveness, and stabilizes performance during peak internet hours. Apps load faster. Previews don't stutter. Local caching becomes a key part of the user experience. There's also a financial reason. Adding extra storage is now relatively inexpensive for manufacturers. Components cost less than they used to, and integrating more space doesn't significantly affect pricing. But it does significantly improve perceived value. It's a small upgrade with a big psychological impact. All of these factors, bigger apps, gaming, offline viewing, higher resolution assets, ads, OS expansion, future-proofing, and more, have created a new reality for streaming devices. In 2026, storage is no longer an afterthought. It's becoming a critical part of performance and usability. Streaming boxes are quietly evolving from simple streaming sticks into full entertainment platforms. They're faster, they're smarter, and now they're bigger, not in size, but in capacity. The move toward more local storage isn't just a spec bump, it's a response to how Americans watch, game, save, download, and interact with entertainment today. And as the ecosystem around TV apps continues to grow, local storage will only become more essential. The streaming box of 2026 is built for the long haul, and the hardware inside reflects that.